Boredom is an emotional state that happens when you're lacking stimulation, purpose, or meaning. So, boredom can happen either because you don't have enough stimulation or because you are bored at a soul level. Boredom is out of the equation. And if boredom kicks in, it's a sign to say, you're ready for more. Now, more of what? Go and create it. And I think creativity and sexuality, they are very linked. So I think in my case, there was a component there because maybe my whole sexuality, my whole creativity, they're not being like fully expressed. Hello, my love. Welcome to another episode of Blisstopia podcast. I'm your host, Mercedes Castellani. And today we're going to talk about boredom and how to get out of a boredom rut. So, if you've been feeling a little bit meh lately, when you're like just going through the motions, but it's like meh, we're going to talk about that because I know exactly how that feels. And we are going to get out of that situation together. Now, this podcast episode is inspired by something that I felt, I would say 2 or 3 weeks ago. So this episode feels very personal, feels very aligned with something that honestly I'm also processing. So I wanted to come on this podcast episode and just walk you through the process that I'm going through so that if you find yourself in that spot, you can also come out of the boredom ruts with me. And this is not one of those podcasts when maybe I've lived something, I've learned something, I integrated some wisdom, and then I share that wisdom with you. This is more like I'm still in the middle of the situation and I'm walking myself and getting myself out of that situation. And I want you kind of like reflect with me on real time. So I want to show you how I walk myself through certain things. So let me give you a bit more context as to why this happened and I think why I started feeling bored and then how I was able to walk myself through all of that. So 2 or 3 weeks ago, I started feeling like meh, like I found my purpose. I created my business. So all of that is amazing. I love what I do. I love my clients. But for some reason, one day looked exactly like the other. And I was like, what is going on? I started feeling bored. I started feeling less motivation than before. And it's very strange because when I was in my marketing job, I would feel bored and demotivated pretty often. But since I have my own job, I haven't felt like that for a year and a half. Since I started my job, my own company, I've never been bored. It's been 1 year and a half of, this situation and then the other one. It's always changing and it's always shifting and it's always different. It's always kind of like same, but different. And I'm someone who deeply loves and needs variety. If I don't have variety, it just doesn't work. And I found myself feeling bored. And I was like, how is this possible? I found my purpose. I created my own company. What's going on? So I started inquiring what is going on? What's happening? And I did remember when I was a child, I would go into my grandma's house. And sometimes we would spend many, many hours with her and my grandfather. And at some point, for some reason, we would get bored because, you've been there maybe the whole day. We didn't have so many things to do. When you're a child, times goes by so slowly because you have literally nothing to do. And we would come to my grandmother and we would be like, we're so bored. We're so bored. And she would look at us. She was very kind, a loving, loving, kind, beautiful grandmother. I love her so much. And I'm so lucky to have someone like her in my life who taught me what love is. And I just love her so much. But at that point, she was like, she would tell us a phrase that really made me think when I was a child. She would tell us, intelligent people don't get bored. And I was like, wow, intelligent people don't get bored. I think what she was trying to say is if you are intelligent, you're going to come with ideas, with cool things to do, and you won't be bored. And I think what she was trying to say is creative people don't get bored. Intelligent in the sense of creative to find ideas. Creative people don't get bored. So then I started thinking, why am I feeling bored? What's going on? I mean, I do have a weekly podcast. So every Friday there's a podcast. I have a weekly newsletter. So every Thursday there is a newsletter. And I think in the beginning, when you're trying to figure out how to do the podcast, that's exciting. Then you figure it out. The excitement kind of like wears off. Then you find out, okay, how am I going to write a weekly newsletter? You find out how to do it. Then once you've done it several times, it's like, okay, now the excitement is gone. And I think I was feeling a bit bored because I was doing kind of like the same things over and over and over again. The podcast every week, and then the newsletter every week, and then walking my dog exactly on the same park every day, and just wearing kind of like similar clothes every day. So, of course, I was bored. Of course, I was bored. But it was because also I think I went into this comfortable space of doing what you know and just staying there. But once you stay there for way too long, you're like, this is boring. Like I already manage and handle and I've learned all of this. So I want more. I need more. So I went there and I checked, okay, what is boredom? What is actually boredom and where does it come from? And basically, boredom is an emotional state that happens when you're lacking stimulation, purpose, or meaning. So, boredom can happen either because you don't have enough stimulation or because you are bored at a soul level. Wow, this is a huge difference. Huge difference. And I think when I was in my corporate job, I was bored. My soul was bored because I wasn't doing something that was meaningful, that had purpose. And I think now when I got bored and I found that this emotional state was so strange to me because I haven't been bored for 1 year and a half. And now all of a sudden I felt boredom. And I think it was because I was lacking stimulation. I love variety. As I said, I need new things, new intellectual challenges, new just to learn new things. And I think I was feeling bored because I wasn't being stimulated at an intellectual level. The causes of boredom. So, why do we get bored? There could be different causes. Number one, it's because you have a lack of purpose. So, you're going through the motions, but you don't really have a clear sense of direction. Why are you doing all of this? What's the bigger why behind everything that you do? So in my case, it wasn't really that one because I have a very clear direction. It's Blisstopia, it's growing my business, it's supporting millions of women. So that's very clear. So it's not the lack of purpose. Cause number two is disconnection. Do I feel disconnected? Disconnection, we could be disconnected from our own selves. We could be disconnected from our passions. We could be disconnected from our inner voice. And I don't really feel like I was disconnected from myself. I actually spent a lot of time with myself, a lot of time mm, listening to myself. What do I need? So I don't think there really was a disconnection. We could also get bored because we are repeating the same habits, repeating the same habits, repeating the same roles, repeating the same conversations. So kind of like the routine kicks in. And I think this was definitely in there. I was going to the same park and doing kind of the same things. And at some point I was like, okay, I've already managed this. I already know this. So this one was definitely in there. Another reason for boredom is because you're not expressing your creativity. So you want to say things, you want to express yourself, you want to do things, but you're creating silence. You're not actually expressing everything that wants to come out of you. And I think this could be a little bit because, to be honest, I do feel bored kind of in the sexual department for sure. This is a very important department for me, but lately it's like, I don't know, kind of like also the routine and the same things over and over and over again. And I think creativity and sexuality, they are very linked. So I think in my case, there was is a component there because maybe my whole sexuality, my whole creativity, they're not being like fully expressed. So that is there for sure. And then boredom can also come because of emotional avoidance, meaning that you're bored because you're actually numbing or distracting yourself from discomfort. Something deep is going on, and boredom is kind of like the thing that will cover and numb the actual emotional discomfort that is below. So I don't think that was really the case for me. I think in my case, it was more like I didn't pay attention and the routine kind of like kicked was I was doing the same things over and over and over again. And then my sexual side of things was not like fully flourishing and fully creative and expressive. So what I've been thinking is that boredom is actually a gift. Could actually be a gift. If you can stop, listen to it, and make adjustments. So, boredom is a sign from your soul that says you're ready for more. You're ready for more. And I think in my case, I could definitely feel this. Like, I am so ready for more, so ready for more. I'm ready for more in my business. I'm ready for more in my personal life. I'm ready for more in my sex life. I'm ready for more. Like I am so open and ready for more. Now, the question is more of what? And I think in my case, I've been thinking, okay, how can I switch things around a little bit? How can I open up for more? How can I create more? What can I actually create? So, let me give you some examples, things that I did to get myself out of that boredom. First thing I did was challenge myself physically. So I've been running 3 times a week for a very long time. And last year, exactly this time, last year, we were running a half marathon, which was an amazing challenge. This year, we didn't subscribe to any race. And I think I was feeling like I needed a bigger challenge. So we will probably do a group run in June, which is cool. And then when we decided that, I immediately started doing more challenging runs. I'm doing speed runs that are way more challenging for my heart, for my body in general. And I've done a couple of speed runs and I was like, wow, this is exactly what I needed. Like, I definitely needed a challenge. Then I also started challenging myself at an intellectual level. And I've been going lately into a topic that I have no clue about. And I'm so excited, which is SEO. So, search engine optimization. Some of you probably know what this means. Some of you maybe have no idea what this means. I had no idea about this. I mean, no idea of how you actually do it, how it works. And basically, SEO is how your website, for example, appears on Google. How do you optimize your website so that the algorithm in Google will place it kind of like in the first, second, or third if you're lucky, and if you do a good job with your SEO, in the first results that you get when you type a specific word. So now I went into this whole rabbit hole of SEO, and I hired someone to work on the SEO for my website. So that's already happening. And I also found an amazing platform to work on the SEO for my podcast. So now both my website and my podcast are going to be SEO optimized. And this was literally a topic that I had no idea about 3 weeks ago. And I've been on a rabbit hole, learning a lot about SEO, hiring people, hiring platforms, doing things. And I'm like super passionate about SEO right now. But I think I needed this intellectual challenge, like grab a new topic that you have no idea about and learn something new. And that really helped me. And now I'm super excited to get the results from the freelancer that is working on the SEO for my website. And I'm going to be introducing more SEO changes and optimizations in the podcast. So I'm super excited about that. Then something else that I tried to get out of the boredom was I did something just for fun. I was like, what do I actually, I mean, forget about the things that I'm supposed to be doing every week, what do I actually want to do? And I'm a generator. So this question is so important for generators. in human design, as a generator, you always want to ask yourself, what is going to bring me joy? What is going to be fun for me? So for me, the thing that was fun was actually talking to a PR agency, so public relationships agency. They help you get articles in newspapers, magazines. And I was like, you know what? I just want to do PR. So I started talking to an agency and I managed to basically get an amazing article out of those conversations. And I was like, wow, I got, and it came out this week. And I'm so shocked and so happy and so pleased. And it all came out because I was like, you know what? Let's just do this. I'm just going to do this. And I think I spent a couple of hours talking to an agency and it was just amazing. And I got an amazing result out of it. And I will definitely continue to do it because it was fantastic to get that article. And it was just for fun. And in the end, it turned out into something super cool. And then I started shaking things around. Like, I'm going to go and work on a co working space with another business owner and friend tomorrow. I am starting to wear different clothes now that the weather is nicer in Paris. I am trying to do different walks with Amore. So I'm just trying to shake things around in my day to day life so that, things feel exciting and new. And now we're going to have a bunch of trips. So I think the boredom is going to be gone because starting next week, we're going to be in Barcelona, then in Galicia, in north of Spain, then in Normandy, north of France, then in Cognac, then in Orléans, another city in France. So we're going to move a lot for the second half of April and the whole month of May. So I think once we start traveling and once I start literally shaking things around and just moving to different places and all of that, I think the boredom is going to be gone. So, yeah, this is me. This is me right now. This is what I've been experiencing lately. And I think my biggest takeaway in all of this was okay, now I'm literally my own boss. And before, I had an amazing boss that was telling me what to do. When I was a marketing director, my CEO was telling me, okay, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. This is the focus, this is the strategy. Challenge, 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 nonstop challenge. Now that I'm my own boss, it's up to me to find the new challenges. And I think I've been quite good at doing that very naturally for 1.5 years. But now that I started feeling this boredom, it was like, okay, come on, Mercedes, wake up. What's the new challenge? What are we going to do? Let's have fun. Let's have fun. Like, I have my own business. I can create whatever I want. What do you want to do? With all of that freedom and sometime, not a lot of time, but sometime and a budget, what do you want to do? So I think the biggest learning for me was this confirmation of I am my own boss and I need to find my own challenges for me, for the company, to keep things entertaining, to keep things fun. Also for me. How do I have fun? How do I change? How do I pivot to enjoy the process, to continue to enjoy the process for decades? Because I plan to be doing this for decades. So how can I pivot and change and grow and invent and reinvent and find new things and destroy and rebuild? Because I'm going to be doing this for decades. So boredom is out of the equation. And if boredom kicks in, it's a sign to say, you're ready for more. Now, more of what? Go and create it. Go out and do it. Make it happen. So I'm going to leave you with that. I hope you enjoyed this episode. It's been a vulnerable episode for me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope if you are feeling bored, I hope this helps you. Go find a physical challenge. Go find an intellectual challenge. Go find something that you want to create. Go find something that you want to do just for fun that makes no sense, but you want to do it, and just shake things around. Find ways to shake things off. Wear something different. Go to different places. Have different conversations. Meet different people. Just shake things around. I will see you in the next episode. And in the meantime, in Blisstopia we trust.